the co-founder and CEO of Omnisend, where we make 60 million.
Being enough focus on it, you initially will accomplish it.
Welcome to this episode of the Happiness Podcast. Hey everyone, and warm welcome to this episode of the Happiness Podcast. Today we are recording from Berlin with Rytis Lauris. Warm welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's really great to be here and talk to you. You always do interesting episodes and have interesting guests, so really happy to be here among the guests.
Good, you're happy to be on the Happiness Podcast. That's a good way to flow. I'm really happy we're doing this also in person in Berlin. Rytis Lauris is the co-founder and CEO of Omnisend, where we make 60 million revenue a year with 250 employees, so tiny small company. And you started in the same year as Mela in 2014. And is rated 4.7 out of 5 on the rating score. So also like people are loving it. So you made something that people really like and love. So that's also spreading happiness in the world of helping people. That's very beautiful. Today, the focus topics that I have for us is happiness, habits, retention, breathwork, and leadership. Because I also love learning from smart people, and I think I can learn from leadership from you. And yeah, I'm very excited about today's episode. Maybe to start before, because it's a happiness podcast, I always like to start with a definition of happiness. So we talk about the same thing. So happiness is, in my definition, is nothing we can chase, because the more you chase it, the more it goes away. Like something like, oh, I want to be happy now. It's more like creating a feeling of like inner peace, and very gratitude, where a lot of times happiness just happens, it just pops up. When you're really okay with what is, you're really in peace of what is, and then things, I was like, you take an elevator and you're like, oh, the elevator works. Oh, I'm grateful. I'm happy for it. A state where like little small things can bring you happiness. You're like, okay, this is cool. I'm searching this deep feeling of inner peace and being okay with who you are, how you are authentically yourself. We talked about it before. And also I want to have one thing for our listener to challenge you. Like, what if happiness is not about always being good, like always feeling good? What if happiness is just the whole state of like being there?
I completely agree with you, and I think it's about being enough. So that's how I would define happiness for myself, and I think this is exactly to what you said, being okay, not being the best, but being enough for yourself initially. Because people around you should not care too much. You should care if they are your family, if they are co-workers, if you're friends, etc., but feeling enough. Of course, we are humans, we are constantly chasing for something, etc., but we should not push ourselves in it. It's always dissatisfaction of what you have already achieved, of what you are, how you spend the day, etc. It's about, that was a good day. Was it challenging? It was challenging, and that's okay. Maybe I had bad episodes in the day, but there are no days in our life and there are only bad days. There is something good as well. So just inner feeling, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. Like this feeling, and also something I think you as a dad with two kids or something, we can teach the kids of this feeling of you are enough and you know enough. Like also I like to give to other marketers. I always try to do the next blog, the next video of no, you already know enough. Like just start getting going, executing.
And learn happiness from kids, because sometimes we're just so randomly happy that you cannot understand where is it coming from. Okay, sometimes vice versa, they are so randomly unhappy and they're just crying, screaming, and seems like everything is okay, but for whatever you put the glass in the wrong way, and maybe you put their phones in the wrong way, just coming with some examples, etc. But in general, kids are more authentic. I believe, again, it comes that kids are more enough for themselves and just enjoy the life, and they're just happy. Create happiness from very tiny things, what happened in their day.
I'm really happy we're doing this episode already, and also I think like life is like a consciousness practice, and I think with kids there's so much you can learn and so much consciousness you can grow from kids. So I'm very happy that you're a dad with two kids already, and I'm also looking forward to one day being a dad also, and to learn a lot from the kids and going through all the phases. There's no good or bad, there's just as it is.
And this is more from a work perspective, but I apply it for myself, for anyone. But what I keep repeating for colleagues at Omnisend, that about their happiness at work, that every day at any work we do things that we are happy about and we are less happy about. The things that we like, things we do not like, and that's absolutely fine with that. And what I say, it just has to be positive balance. More than a half of the things you do at work have to be joyful for you, and 49% still can be something that you are not super happy with. But this is a positive balance. Balance is positive. So that's where you need to look. And I think that sometimes happens that people say, I do so much thing that I don't like at work or at home. Yeah. Being a dad is not always doing the things you like at all. But if the balance is positive, that's the only thing that matters, I believe.
And also some people, like everyone has something about their job that they just really don't like. Like for me, accounting part of it, like doing the accounting and this is like, it's not fun.
Of course.
It's part of it.
It's part of it and you have to do it. But if the balance is positive, you are happy, you do that, maybe it drains you down a little bit, but when you do other things that motivates you, and at the end of the day, you feel good.
Exactly. Are you ready for a quick fire session? Like very short answers and like for people to get to know you a bit more. Rytis, what's your favorite sport?
Squash. I practice it twice per week if not traveling and at home. So
I'm going to try to get you hooked on foot golf as well, but squash also, I love it. That's a good one. One book that you always return to?
Hard Thing About Hard Things. That's probably the only book that is about failures, which we have so many failures in life, and this is a way of learning, and it's about success, but written from perspective, and people forget how much struggle did they pass through, etc. Probably the best method.
I think I read it like 5-6 years ago. It was like, it really helps about being a good CEO, no? That's one of the things. But it's also about life, but also about... Like,
it's mainly about business, how much actually struggle you have to go through in order to get overnight success.
Exactly, because it doesn't exist. It doesn't
exist at all,
Tools you can't live without.
Probably like Google Stack, Gmail, Google Docs.
The
most used tools.
Exactly, it's really useful.
They're super like basic, but that's because they are just like fundamental.
Quick question in here, like top us up. Are you using the AI features of Google, like to reply to emails with AI more, and also?
Sometimes I do. In general, kind of I used to use ChatGPT only, but I started using more and more Gemini. I think they have improved recently in the past years a lot, and I like how they embed it in the tool set. And even like outside it, I sometimes switch Gemini to ChatGPT. So I think Gemini can good competitor to in the future. So maybe Google is not that, because 1 year or so ago it looked like Google is so far behind in AI competition, but maybe not.
Yeah, for me also, I look out of for whichever task, what tool do I need the most? No, so I'm like, okay, I use like Poppy AI because this is the one tool that has all that in it. And then I'm like, okay, now I need a marketing task. I need more Claude. Like Claude is the best for German marketing scripts or so. Claude is by far, and I always A/B test it. And like Grok can be the best for other tools. So I always see like where I get the best answer for which area. But ChatGPT is very good. Claude, for me, it's the best. And Gemini, I'm getting good numbers. And then VVAI is one tool that we use for getting very cool video ads also done. That's something. But these are like two ones that I like here. What's your favorite TV show or movie?
My main tool that I use the most is my tongue. Speaking to people, meetings, etc. And Google.
All the heart.
Because there was a funny situation with my kid, the elder one. Now he's 9 years old, but when he was, maybe 5-ish, etc. And just made a comment to my wife. Look, so dad is busy if we work from home, and there was like COVID, etc. So we worked from home. And he said, look, dad is busy and you just sit in front of a computer. That's the comment he made to my wife. And my wife, dad is busy because he is constantly talking. He's constantly on
always in calls.
Always in calls, blah, blah. That's what makes me busy. But my wife is just
so, now there's actually a question I'm curious about. In COVID times, how much of your time do you spend in meetings and how much of your time were you replying emails or brainstorming or like silent? Like for the kid, let's say, like answer, like the kid watches you for 8 hours or probably more if you work a lot, I don't know. But he watches you. How many times were you in meetings and how many times were you off meetings?
Like 70-80% in meetings, yeah.
That's also what I would have guessed, but I was just curious,
So much.
Yeah. That's the CEO role. That's why you're a good CEO.
That's true.
What's your favorite quote?
It's a commercial thing, but just do it. Just do it. It's not because I'm a big fan of Nike, but I'm a big fan of this concept. Everything starts with sometimes people consider, should I do, should I not, should I start, should I not do, try, and many times you're going to fail. It's like similar to yours, what you did in the past, like experimenting one business in 1 month. If it doesn't work, you do another business, etc. So I think this is a nice philosophical outside of being a slogan for.
Yeah, just do it. On my 40th birthday, I'm still 3 years away from that, but like I already thought about I want to have one day dedicated to Roman, because as a kid, I was fascinated with Roman Empire. It will be one day about that. But the first day, I love marketing, obviously. So on the first day, I was like, what's the best ad ever? Nike, just do it. But the ad, the in the cage. So on the first day, me and all my friends, we're going to rent such a cage and play a football tournament, 3 versus 3 in the cage, to honor the marketing, the cool side of that. And we're all really excited about that. And for me, just do it, I got the honor of meeting the person who invented it. I was in a marketing meeting, and I was like, this is really cool to be in a meeting with him. He was from Nike, and Uniqlo hired him. Okay, so I was in Tokyo, and they obviously were like, okay, this guy is great, we'll hire him. And so he was in a meeting in Tokyo, and I was like, that's
so that
really
made you
cool.
happy. That
made me happy. That comes back to the happiness podcast. Now, what makes you?
Just being authentic and not wearing too many masks. All of us do have some masks, but I think some people, we do have so many masks thick that you barely can see the real person. I think it's just being yourself, the way you do, and being the same in different situations. It makes life makes you happier at the end of the day. So maybe that's a thing which I really truly value. I try to be that way myself. So pretend, which I believe is very good.
Exactly.
If you don't need it by yourself, it's easier.
Yeah. Also, when I was like first meeting you on this dinner in Barcelona, I was like, yeah, he's really authentic. He's just him. I like one advice I can give to people in general. I read it and I was like, oh, this is actually really, I want to share it next time I do an episode, is try to be as much authentically you, like in all the situations, like with your family, with your kids, at work, with your friends, with your wife, like always being like showing up, in my case, showing up as fully like Chris, like being fully me with all the things. The more you can do it authentic, the less you have to take energy to put all these masks, like you said, this extra thing of
Absolutely.
When do you personally feel the happiest, and what has changed in your life since Omnisend is growing so much? But first thing is, when do you personally feel the happiest?
So probably like being around people that I love, like family, friends, the people that I admire, like colleagues, partners of a business. Yeah, so probably for me, I usually charge myself being among people. More authentic people are with them and spend time and business things, talk serious things, talk whatever, history, politics, literature, sport, or just go to the bar, just do crazy things, etc. But both of those perfectly work for me, and so probably I feel the happiest surrounded with people I love.
So you're extrovert, recharging by also hanging out with people who you.
Yeah, I think so. Emotionally, I always recharge by out with people. Physically, sometimes it's not easy.
Yeah.
Especially if you stay. I like to party sometimes. Not I do it like too often anymore because I'm not like super young anymore. But yeah, just spending some night. And physically, you are drained. But emotionally, next
you're
day
like emotionally, you're like good.
Very good. And then you have to balance this. Maybe you have a rest after having a good party for a few days, etc. But emotionally, and even now after like from here, we are going to with Omnisend. We have we call it annual trip. So once per year, everyone who at least 12 months with a company is eligible to go. We go somewhere, mainly like Southern Europe, etc. Last year we went to Greece. To Crete this year, we're going to Turkey. So just the company get together for a few days. We spend time there, and I have no doubts it's going to be like an amazing time. We're going to spend a great time, build memories. It will be physically difficult, but emotionally it will charge me.
And when are you doing that again?
This weekend. Just tomorrow.
I was
flying.
Like, tomorrow you're going to Istanbul. Nice. I love it.
Flying from here, from Berlin to Turkey for a company get together.
So I wish you a very beautiful time there.
Thank
you. I love doing that. Like these team events, like playing laser tag, or like once convinced everyone to doing. I was against it, but outvoted like doing 5 a.m. paddle surf for sunrise. It was like so early, and I was like, why? But then I loved it. Yeah. And what are two? Because I'm asking this because we talked about before that I had a burnout 7 years ago. So I always love to learn from people who are doing it so well. And for me, meditation is something that's helping me now. But I'm curious for you. What are 2 daily habits that keep you grounded and joyful under pressure?
So one thing, and I maybe did not have a burnout, but during COVID, that was very good for me. And maybe because of what we just already touched, because I had no surrounded with people and there were a few things that were charging my batteries up. Yeah, so what kind of helped me? So like sleeping. If I'm not traveling, my sleep cycle was absolutely like messy. 6 hours, 5 hours. So now I try to sleep at least 7 hours. So basically I'll go to bed around midnight. I'm quite late night person, but I used to go like 2 a.m. to bed, etc. So I fixed this one, and I think it's very important. Of course, sometimes I travel a lot and travel through the time zones. US is our primary market. I live in Europe, so it's not what I can do every time, but I think it is very important. And the second thing is just each morning I take a shower, hot shower, and I do a little bit of cold shower for 30 seconds, 1 minute. So I think it's another habit which really, because my immune system was not good at all, but I think it's one of those habits that help to build it up, and knock the wood, but in the past winters I didn't have any kind of day off because ill, and like back in the days I was like always have to stay at home because I feel ill, I have temperature, etc. So I think this is kind of a habit. And of course, like regular sport is very important. It's not that daily, I don't do it daily, but like 2-3 times per week. Exercise, play squash, go to a swimming pool, etc. So I touch it free, you ask for it. But I think it's
over delivering.
It
Says,
balances.
says also something about you in a positive way. Like I asked for 2, you take 3. I'm happy.
Yeah, okay,
no, and exactly coming from, we're both marketers by heart in that way. A/B test for yourself, no? Like A/B test for me, if I test it for myself, I know that a day when I do 1 hour of sports is just such a better day for me. So I try to, like, I can't always do it, but I try to do it more often than not. If I have a week and I can do 5 times a week sport, these are great weeks. It's like rarely things can come that bring these weeks down, and the other things can be bad, but I'm balanced.
Sometimes it happens, especially when in travel, that I skip for 1 week the exercise. I start missing it. I start feeling physically that there's something missing with my body. So in those occasions, I do some like yoga exercises, a mix of something, just like bending, stretching, but exercise, etc. So I don't do it on daily routine, but if I'm not able to do sports, which is like squash or swimming pool, etc., so then I replace it with stretching exercises, etc. So I think like physical activity is like crucially important for our body.
That was a very beautiful reminder for myself, because I know I should always stretch more. Like later after the podcast, I'm also going to stretch a bit more, because I know it's so good and so important for me.
There's quite good app, and sometimes I'm a little bit skeptic about the apps, because usually if you don't have a habit, apps barely help you to build a habit. But there is an app called Bend, and there are like simple exercises, like from 5 minutes all the way to half an hour. You can choose which part of the body you want to stretch, etc. And it's very basic, and because you can do just as low as 5 or 10 minutes, and those like exercises are there, so it really helps me to, if I don't have enough time, but I can find 5 minutes, and I should not be thinking exactly exercise shall I do. It's all there.
So now anyway, can I come to a business question, but also quickly to explain, you're obviously wearing a pullover, email marketing as well as marketing
always on brand, always on brand.
I would say this is obviously the most profitable marketing in terms of ROI, very commonly 69 plus ROI. But what is the actual best marketing ever, what you just did?
For ourselves?
No, like in general?
Just in general, like what best marketing that I did?
The best marketing that exists in the world.
It's of course email.
No, sorry, now we come to it.
Now we have a beef.
No, we won't, because the best marketing, what you just did, you told about an app, and I'm going to try it later. The best marketing, the only thing that can beat in marketing, word of mouth marketing.
Okay.
And see, we don't have a band.
No, we don't have anymore. I agree, hands down.
That's the best marketing you can have, is word of mouth marketing.
Absolutely.
So always optimize for that as well. Make it like, okay, make something you want to talk about. So like, if someone sends me an email about this app, maybe I would have gotten it. So 69 ROI could have worked, but now that you told me, and maybe audience, I will try it. So like later, I'll tell you for sure, I'm going to give this app a try, and I will try it. Perfect. And then if I like it, I will also recommend it. So that's
true.
Marketing.
So I agree with this, absolutely. Yeah, but I think it all starts with delivering a great experience, creating true value, and then if they're happy that you created value for them, so they will be talking about your app and free of charge.
Exactly. Always creating a lot of value to the world, no? In that, being a man of value. Here, now coming to a business question. So we talked before a bit over Apfelschorle, apple juice. We are both serial entrepreneurs, and you've done a lot of things. But now your question is like, from the agency, then to Soundest, to Omnisend, like what problem were you truly solving at the start, and what did you learn?
This is like probably the lesson that I learned a little bit like prior to what Omnisend is now, and that actually was the name of our agency. And once we launched the product, we just took the same name and didn't rename it, and we rename it after we saw that there is a product market fit. Like the main lesson for me, and this is my third startup attempt, twice failed, and this somehow successful.
And failing is beautiful.
Absolutely.
There's such growth in there.
This is just the learning curve. This is how it works in our life. And I think we in Europe, we just stigmatize too much. And what I love about American business culture more, that they are more open for failures, learning journey. So the lesson to what you asked, the biggest lesson, you have to solve the monetizable. So if you just build a nice to have, a vitamin product, it could be very difficult to sell it. And people could potentially use it for free, but they are not willing to. But if you spot and find and resolve their pain, you produce painkillers and people will be buying those. So this is a lesson, and that's why I believe Omnisend is really like resolving a pain, because you acquire your customers for the businesses. You acquire customers, invest in Meta ads, in Google ads, etc., and your customer life cycle. You need to do retention marketing. Yeah, this is just inevitable. If you run e-commerce businesses, you have to do it. Will go bankruptcy. And here we come with a solution. We help small businesses, medium-sized businesses to earn extra cash. This is really monetizable.
And you're helping 150,000 people, like businesses. Absolutely. It's really cool. And how you came up with a name?
Omnisend?
Yeah. Who came up with it? And name finding is hard. We've been a lot of times we've been like name finding and having a story about it. So yeah, who came up with it?
Oh, that was an exercise. Then we made a decision that we're gonna rebrand from Sounders to something else.
Yeah.
We spent, and that was like mathematical exercise. So we came up with, I don't know, hundreds of ideas of brand names. Then we rated, asked our friends and some other marketers to rate it. And Omnisend, like first iteration, Omnisend was top 3, but not top 1, up to 2. We checked if .com domain is like available or if it's in a reasonable price range for us. And top 1 and top 2 was not. So we did another round.
What was top 1?
I don't remember.
Like the one you loved the most. Like was one name that you would have liked to?
To be honest, I don't recall. That at that
point,
point,
a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And now I'm really like in love with Om. I think that was a great name. But we back in the days maybe thought that maybe it's a bit too generic. So we did the second round with it. Omnisend got to top 3, but not number 1. The top first position, exactly the same, we could not acquire a domain, etc. And finally we said, okay, and we did it for a third time, and Omnisend got in top 3 position, but again, not number 1. And we said, okay, there is a consistency in Omnisend, but the .com domain was owned by some person, individual person, and basically like the data of individual persons can be hidden. And if it's owned by some company, etc., so it's public, and who has records, you can see who is the owner, etc. Somehow colleague and the lady who was running our marketing back in the days, so she found out the owner of that, and that was it playground and not for commercial use, still so cheap. So thank you the person who sold us domain this. I mean, we just basically compensated for his like spend, and it was just super cheap, and we're so lucky then to purchase that domain. And so there was a bit more of a story.
If you want, you can even be like, if Omnisend hits like 100 million landmark, be like, as a present, send him like a little bonus. Be like, hey, by the way, we are really thankful, and that was really beautiful. You can have something like, be like, if we achieve that, we'll do something good.
That's a good idea, yeah. But, and when you named the price, I said, okay, let's wire now. Okay, let's take this risk. If he will not transfer domain, that's okay. Let's wire now to be sure that he's going to sell that domain.
Yeah, nice. And also, it really works. This morning, I was opening LinkedIn, and there was a big post about omni-channel, and because I knew we were going to do a podcast today, I was reading Omnisend, and I was like, it's good.
Yeah, so now I think that it's a really great name.
It's a good name. So now 2 questions I was looking for a lot is one big intuitive insight about email marketing and SMS that most brands still get wrong, because we are here with the email marketing SMS notifications expert. What is something that you see that brands do get wrong that you would want to help them?
Do not automate enough. It's the main mistake. Yeah, so a lot of brands, in Omnisend, 2% of messages traffic drives, for Omnisend customers, drives 37% of transactions of sales. So basically, automate more, because a lot of brands, we just set up 2 or 3 automations. Like Abundant Cart is the most effective. At the same time, it is the most popular by far. Yeah. It's super effective. You have to do this, but you have to do like post purchase. You have to collect reviews. You have to ask for the comments, etc. So the good brands, we do have 10, 15. So this kind of, it's pretty obvious. Brand do see statistics. They see that existing automations work so well, but they do not. So that's the biggest mistake that a lot of brands still make.
So we are here in Berlin right now, and one company that I really like and mentor to them is like two women. They made this brand with very beautiful clothes, and it says on them, "It's cool to be kind." It's a very beautiful message. They are growing, very cool company in Popeye. Check them out. Now, if they don't have any email marketing, which ones would you recommend them? Which flows does such a fashion brand need to have on top of your mind?
Yeah, if they don't.
And how many emails should they send a year?
Yeah, if they don't have email marketing, so the good email marketing or email marketing in general starts with collecting subscribers. So sometimes people are thinking about, okay, email marketing starts with sending email. No, it is about collecting subscribers and always having a great, fresh, timely list of just freshly subscribed. And then, of course, when you get a subscriber, you have to welcome them for sure. So welcome flow is definitely needed, and abundant cards, post-purchase, etc. So I would say you should start as follows. So start with pop-ups, start with subscriber forms, start collecting, then put in place like 5 automations, the most popular automations. You can start there, and then start doing campaigns. And this is like very common question people ask who don't do email marketing. Okay, I have 200 subscribers. Shall I already do it? It's gonna take me so much time to build campaigns, etc. But the answer is yes, because if someone subscribes to and they did not receive any communication from you for upcoming 2-3 months because you are trying to grow your list, and only then you will start sending, they subscribe to you. And once you start communicating, it's gonna be like, what the hell moment for them, and they're gonna like unsubscribe, they're gonna report you as spam because they barely will recall they have actually asked this brand to communicate with them. So that's why it's an investment, but since the very beginning you start collecting, you start automate, and you're sending campaigns. Even for that, it helps to grow.
Plus, one thing I can share here to all the e-commerce owners, because also a lot of owners are listening to this podcast. A friend of mine recently communicated to me that he was testing a pop-up that was not the normal like 10% off if you do this, and he changed it to a game, and you get the challenge to get 20 or 10%, but it's gamified. And it increased so much.
Oh yeah.
It's just so boring. Don't be the next company that gives like 10% off. Everyone has seen it. Like we have seen it 100,000 times everywhere. Like it's not gonna get people super hooked on you.
Absolutely. So let's say in Omnisend we have this Wheel of Fortune, which works very well. So just spin, and that's how you're gonna get various different kind of discounts. Maybe one is like way bigger, another is small, etc. And it's like super effective. Like, of course, brands don't use it on a daily basis because you can overuse it, but like time to run those gamified campaigns on like pop-ups on your subscription forms, definitely that's what I meant for brands to do.
Yeah. Or find exactly, be creative. Find something that fits to your brand.
And like all of us human beings, we are kids deep in now. So we love playing. Doesn't matter how serious and grown up you are, but it's nice.
For sure. Yeah, a lot of brands are now gamifying things more and more. One friend of mine, he's a gamification expert, Jordan. He was also on the podcast. He always has the best idea. Now we are recording this on the 16th of October, so Q4 is coming. What's one email flow, SMS flow that brands need to have? What's something that like if a brand can make one new flow this quarter, which one should it be?
So maybe I will put that way a little bit if we're talking about Q4 specific. Not new flow, I would advise to make. Adjust your existing flows visually, contextually, like visual, adjust it and align with your BFCM campaign. Because what sometimes happens, and quite often happens, like you have forms which are not aligned with your BFCM messaging. Then you start like sending sales and Black Friday campaign, etc. And then your abundant cart is very generic. People abundant cart, and your abundant cart email you leave the same, and you do not align with your BFCM.
So you mean
messaging.
It's not coherent enough, no?
Exactly. So
coherent is everything.
Absolutely like important. So that would, for Q4 specifically, I would advise them to redesign, change the copy to make it coherent, to make it like very seamless experience for your customer. So that would be my specific advice. And of course, then restore to more generic after that. So don't delete them, just disable them, put new in place, and after get back to the
I would also say
standard ones.
I would say do this one in Q4, and in Q1 if you can do do this one now, and in Q1 from my opinion, get your Trustpilot flow. Automated Trustpilot flow. It's so important before people buy. You need to have a flow of like, you bought the product, please rate us on Trustpilot and be honest. If you didn't like it, rate us low. Be honest, rate us.
Absolutely.
And people love that. And they're really like,
And you're a great advocate for Trustpilot.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
you believe in it. Yeah, so you believe in that product, although they are rating app, but you're rating them so high. So
yeah,
actually, is Trustpilot rated on Trustpilot or not? I'm just curious. I've never seen it. But...
Exactly. Why is no one exactly like maybe there's better ones? We just know. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I'm just happy because they helped us a lot. So I'm just thankful to them. But yeah, it's actually true. Like so many other ones, and I'm always talking about Trustpilot. Yeah.
But that's great. Yeah. So to what you said, you are happy with the businesses.
One thing that I want to learn from you is now you have a team of people across the globe and growing. How did you create a company culture? Like how are you building a company culture and how you're building in happiness? Because happiness can mean more happy people normally mean more productivity. So how are you building a happy, productive corporate culture?
So I think it all starts with defining who you are and who you are not. So you have to put it on paper, and it has to be done by founders, so like top level management, not by like marketing department or even HR team, but it really has to come from like top level management. So in our case, we two co-founders, so where it came from originally. Then it was adjusted a little bit over time, but mainly done by top management. And this is how you set your culture, what kind of company you are. So let's say one of the things that we state that we're a sports team, we're not a family. Yeah, this is a statement. And then,
we're a sports team, not a family.
Yes,
yeah.
And it comes like with how we work, how we treat each other, etc. That we are here to win. We have to be friendly because we believe that only like the friendly sports team wins. Because if you fight with each other, you cannot win.
Yeah.
You cannot be a winning team.
Yeah.
At the same time, we are here to make results, to win, not to play, and to win, not just to hang out together. Which is sometimes happening in some, especially like startups. We feel so good with each other. I cannot fire you because
ping pong table there.
Maybe even you can have a ping pong table, but when do you play? Like,
obviously, you need to have a ping pong table. Like I was like, I'm meaning that like only doing that.
Exactly. Like you're wasting your time, and at the same time, we can be accountable, be demanding, but at the same time friendly. Yeah, that's okay to be demanding. That I want you, Chris, to perform. We're not only here just to spend nice time together. And I think it's super important to set the culture and then hire people who, because there is no there can be so of amplitude of like different company cultures is so massive, be super different, and there are different kinds of people who fit in different cultures. And if the person does not fit, you have to be super open as a leader of a company, management, and people by themselves. So you have to be, I don't fit, I better find. If a person does not fit culturally here, we will not build great product. We will team.
Plus, a person would also just be unhappy all the time. Where,
absolutely.
Like they could shine in something else, and
struggling. And salaries, I think is a secondary thing. And the paradox is, if you are happy at work, then you do it. If you do it good, you're gonna be well.
Yeah.
That's true. And look, I have a great example of a cleaning lady that she's probably like one of the longest working, not employee directly, but service provider with us throughout multiple of business. But she enjoys doing that, and really well, because she does her job good, because she enjoys doing that, because she's not cleaning, she's making life more the environment for people, that people would be happier, with more joy in a clean environment. So she's not devaluating her job, evaluating her job.
Yeah.
And then she does it well, and then she earns. So, or you could think, okay, this is a really like blue collar job, and it will never be good pay, good.
Like for me, exactly like that's like basically I imagine her of like always coming to work with a smile, like uplifting the others, like being there, like not being grumpy face or like people like she. In the end, people see her, and like when they're also happy to be there at work, like I can see that a lot. And just quick question out of personal interest, you talked about sport team. What is your favorite sport team and why?
I'm from Lithuania, so basically basketball is as we sometimes call it, our second or maybe first even religion in the country. So I would say probably like Lithuanian national basketball team.
And why? What's the,
just because
is there anything also? Yeah.
because
the team spirit also. Or?
The team spirit, and then maybe
obviously
achievements,
because
achievements, and we're a really small country, less than 3 population. But there is a single sport where we have for many years we're in like top 5, top 10 positions.
Yeah, you're beating Germany easily, no?
Yeah. Not in the last couple of tournaments, but in the past, German like basketball team recently became like super strong.
Yeah, I was surprised.
They're world champions, they're European champions. So now it's crazy, but like for decades, we were beating Germans, beat like United States a couple of times, and even Olympics. So that was like super crazy achievement. So basically, because this is a pride of a small country, that this is a proof that doesn't matter of how many talent you have, but you have great talent density and you cultivate it, so you can have a great.
Yeah, exactly. And the feeling you get as a fan watching like a small country doing so well, like the euphoria is wow. No, that's also happiness.
That's true.
Winning a game against the US, where happiness, like we have 3 million people.
It boosts your morale for sure, and it even inspires to do business like us as Lithuanian. But we still continue being headquartered in Lithuania. We build product there. We do a lot of marketing from there. Yeah, we have a team of the States for sure. But this is again what makes me happy. Country and build big markets, and you should not always move physically to do that, because a standard playbook would be yes, you move to Silicon Valley if you do tech startup, because the social network is there, the capital is there, etc. But you can do it in your way, and I find it very rewarding for me.
It's also something I want to really thank you for doing your big company in Europe. Recently, I was watching the Ryder Cup, where the best Europeans play against the best Americans. We won again, second time in a row, and Team Europe now. And afterwards, the golfers were singing, "Trump, are you watching this?" And he actually said, "Yes, I'm watching it," and I'm sad because he loves golf. So there was a video I saw about that. Yes, let's take that spirit of winning and apply it also to startups, and have more startups, aim for more and have cooler startups in the US, because a lot of the tools, especially SaaS companies, are in the US, which is beautiful. I love the US as a cool country, but also as Europeans, we shouldn't lag so behind.
Absolutely. And I recently read an article that was a scientific study made. What happened with Finland? They used to have so many world-class companies, but not that many anymore, like Nokia and Tars and others, like Rovian with those flying pigs, Angry Birds, etc. And what happened? That there is way less ambition. And it all starts with a vision and with a great ambition. And it's scientifically proven that's a single thing that they just took it as granted. Oh, that's good enough. So if you are happy with good enough, and sometimes it's okay, like being enough for yourself, but at the same time, if you focus on it, you will accomplish it. That's what I strongly believe. Of course, it's like my learning from business and from life, it always will take longer, but you will still accomplish. So it's all starts with a dream, and I completely agree to what you say, innovation, AI stuff, etc. We need more European companies to be more ambitious, to dream bigger, and then we're gonna succeed.
That was also a very beautiful leadership speech you just gave. I love it. I will say I'm very proud having had you on the podcast here. Maybe to have a closing question. So you said before that you're flying tomorrow to Turkey to have this team event. So one thing that I recently learned is to look every day and asking myself a question: what am I creating today? Like in the morning, what am I creating today, these next 24 hours? And what way of being best supports me? Like can be like today I want to do X, and the way of being is feeling like being at ease, being joyful supports me. So I want to ask you that for tomorrow. Like tomorrow morning, what are you creating tomorrow? And what way of being supports you to do that tomorrow?
I believe tomorrow I'm going to create great memories and stories with colleagues at Omnisend. What we're being chilled. Tomorrow it's going to be a day to be chilled, and it's going to help us to create new memories together.
Nice. Yeah, and also I can also recommend to everyone, try this for 4 or 5 days. Like in the morning, write down what are you creating today. Can be something small, but what are you creating today? And what way of being supports this. That's something that also another habit I brought in, and I always love it to ask to people. And being chilled, I didn't have that in my list, but I like it. Like I will try it also. Like way of being supports me, being chilled about it.
Sometimes you have to be.
So I wish you an amazing company retreat. Enjoy it a lot, and keep rocking it for Team Europe, and keep helping so many companies with amazing email marketing. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Nice.